Hi everyone, my name is Liz. For those of you that are new here, welcome to my YouTube channel. I do all kinds of lifestyle videos, including videos on recovery and holistic wellness. I hope that my videos are always encouraging and inspiring. For today's video, I thought it would be kind of fun to do a get ready with me everyday makeup look. So I'm just gonna do my makeup. I am pretty basic when it comes to my makeup. I don't even really use eyeshadow when I go to work. I just do foundation, mascara, gotta make sure my brows look good, lip gloss, blush. That's pretty much it. I use all drugstore products, so it's very affordable. I typically shop at mainly Walmart, but occasionally Target if I'm feeling bougie, you know what I mean? I thought it would be fun to do a makeup video, but rather than it being a tutorial where I explain step by step, I thought it would be fun to do a get to know me kind of video. So I'll just be sharing some facts about me, like where I'm from, hobbies, that kind of thing. So I hope you enjoy, and let's get started. So the first step that I'd start with is very simple. You have probably seen lots of YouTube influencers do skincare routine videos. Well, I only use two things. The first is a moisturizing cream and then Vaseline for my chapped lips. So I have that weird combination where I have really dry skin and dry lips, but also very oily skin. So yeah, all the makeup products that I use on a daily basis fit in this bag right here. Like I said, my name is Liz. My full name actually is Elizabeth. Obviously, you probably assume that. Elizabeth Alderete Lavoy. So Alderete is now legally my middle name, but it used to be my maiden name. So growing up, I never had a middle name. And I was always that kid where, you know how in elementary school kids care about that kind of stuff? And people would always be like, what's your middle name? What's your middle name? And sometimes kids would like want to keep it a secret. I don't know why. This is the foundation that I use, by the way. I actually don't really love this because it's a liquid kind and I'm kind of running out. I normally use, I'll have to look it up and maybe insert a picture or something or put a link below. I normally really like the kind that's kind of like a cream texture. I think it stays on longer for my oily skin, but I couldn't find it when I went to the store. So I was like, well, I'll just do this for now. It's cheaper. And then when I run out, I'll go back and buy the one that I normally get. Anyways, oh, I already did the 2 steps with the cream and the Vaseline, by the way. So anyways, growing up, I remember like kids would like sometimes want to keep it a secret, like, oh, I'm not gonna tell you my middle name. I didn't have a middle name, and kids would always be like, what? Like they'd be so shocked. Now I'm like, that's really dumb that people responded that way, or that I felt like embarrassed to not have a middle name. So as I got older, I always wanted my middle name to be Esperanza, which means hope in English. I mean, it's hope in Spanish, the word Esperanza. So I thought about it. I thought about it for a second. When I got married and changed my name, I was like, oh my gosh, the possibilities are endless. I could literally change my name to whatever I want. So I thought about using that as my middle name. And then after I was like, wouldn't that be kind of cool to like keep my last name? So I thought it would be cool. I've always really liked my last name, Alderete. Growing up, though, it was definitely hard for people to pronounce. They'd be like Alderete. No, it's Alderete, which is technically considered like Spaniard. There's actually a lot of ways to spell it. I've seen lots of variations, but mine is spelled Alderete, so a lot of E's. So anyways, I'm married. I am 25 years old. I'm originally from California, but my husband and I, his name's Austin, we have been living in Kentucky for a little over a year now. We moved here 6 months after we got married, and basically, long story short, we had thought like, you know, this would be a great time to just try something completely new and get out of California. Him and I are both born and raised in California, and so we were like, let's just do something new. So we had looked into different seminaries and like grad schools. We thought thought that this school in Kentucky would be just a better fit overall because we're kind of in a small city area, so a small urban setting. Obviously, it's very different than California in a lot of ways. Like culturally, we're, I guess, in the midst of like Southern culture, which is different than like West Coast, like hippie, laid back, ocean vibes kind of culture. Like West Coast is just so different compared to the Midwest and the South. But I think it's a beautiful area. The weather's different, that's for sure. It rains a ton. But what's cool about it is in the summertime, because it does rain so much in the spring and summer, it's so green everywhere, like such a lush green. So I think it's pretty cool. And I'm okay with the cold weather. I enjoy it. It doesn't snow a whole lot. It has snowed a few times sporadically, which has been exciting for someone who, like me, I'd never seen snow before moving. So anyways, next step is blush. So I used the liquid foundation and then the powder foundation. Growing up, I tried, so like I said, I'm born and raised in California. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with San Fernando Valley area, but that's where I was born and raised. The one movie, maybe there's more out there, but the one movie that growing up, it was like part of my identity. It's so silly to say, but I was like so proud to be from San Fernando Valley because of the movie A Cinderella Story with Hilary Duff. I was the biggest Lizzie McGuire fan. Like, because my name was Elizabeth, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I want people to call me Lizzie. But then people would always be like, you don't look like Lizzie, you look like Miranda. And so, like, obviously I look like Miranda. We have dark hair. Like, I am Mexican, second generation. Both of my parents are born and raised in Mexico. Anyway, so growing up, I loved the show Lizzie McGuire on Disney Channel. And then I used to watch like every single movie that Hilary Duff made. Basically after that show, I would always watch it. I also like to use, so the brown, as you can tell, I use that the most. And then I use typically this color, which is like not a pink, but like a coral, I guess. So that opening scene where you see all the dry lawns and yards in people's houses. And then they do this one scene where she was like, born and raised in the San Fernando Valley. I'll insert a photo. I just remember seeing that and thinking like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. So that's probably like the one movie where they give a shout out to San Fernando Valley. Because other than that, I mean, some people love Los Angeles. Austin loves Los Angeles. I don't really feel like I'm a city girl that much. Growing up, I tried a ton of different sports. I did like t-ball, softball, tennis at one point. Long story short, I realized I am not an athletic person. Like, I am not competitive in that area. I'm not gifted or skilled in sports. And I was always that kid that would be so content and happy with just sitting on the bench because I didn't want to get hit by any ball. Like, I was like, like, I'm here for the team camaraderie, but like, other than that, please don't put me to play coach. So eventually I tried dance. I did like tap, jazz, ballet, gymnastics. And I had kind of was on and off. In middle school and high school, I kind of went back to doing dance classes because the school that I went to had a good performing arts program within it, but they had a lot of different levels. So if you were beginners, you could join that and not have to audition, and you could work your way up to like intermediate, advanced. But it wasn't until I did music lessons that I finally discovered like, this is what I love. This is me. So to this day, I regret so much not continuing with my music lessons, specifically drum lessons. I don't think I would have been like some incredible professional drummer now in my 20s, but I wish that I would have continued and progressed. But oh well. But I still play guitar and piano, not as much anymore, but in my early teens, I was super involved at church. And so I was on the worship team and did that for a long time. And it's crazy how when you look back, you think like you have your whole life figured out. Like, I remember thinking like, when I go to college, I'm going to be a music major. I'm going to get a job doing like full-time music at a church. I'm going to tour. I don't know. I had all those kinds of dreams, which are not bad dreams, but I was a music major for 1 year in college, and I was like, oh no, this music theory is some hard stuff. So I was like, I think this will just continue being a hobby of mine. So, okay, the next step that I always do is I do the eyelashes on the bottom first. And then I do the top. And then don't mind the face that every person does when they do their mascara, where it's like I don't know why we do this. It happens every time. You're like, why am I doing that? That doesn't actually help my eyes open up anymore. But anyways, so I went to a Christian college after doing public middle school and high school. Oh, I forgot to mention. So I was born and raised in San Fernando Valley. But then when I graduated from like elementary school, like 6th grade, my family and I moved to San Diego, so Southern California. And then in 2010, so I was actually a sophomore in high school, we moved to Mexico. And if you're familiar geographically, this is very common in Southern California, but for people that live in other states that are more inland and you're nowhere near a Mexican border, like you're not like Texas near Mexico border, you're not near like Southern California border or Arizona or New Mexico. So if you never grew up in that area, you're probably thinking like, what? That's wild. But basically, my mom and I would commute Monday through Friday across the border from Mexico, specifically the area that's really close to the border, like the cities are called Tijuana, Rosarito, Ensenada. So we were like in that region, which is considered Baja California, if you didn't know, fun fact. So we did that. My mom would work full time. She'd drop me off at school. I would go to school, wait till, I was like super involved in high school. So I did like dance, music, guys, junior year. So after I did the first 2 years doing dance, and then I decided to try mariachi because our school also had a mariachi program. And I tried to learn violin for a year, and I was like, no. Like, if any of you played a stringed instrument like that, that is awesome. But I was like, no, I can't do this. So, but I loved it though. I loved getting to sing in Spanish. That was a lot of fun. Actually, for those that may not know, growing up, I didn't learn how to speak Spanish. It wasn't until we moved to Mexico did I start learning how to speak Spanish. So a lot of my high school experience was, as you're experiencing like your adolescence years, you're growing up, going through puberty, the awkward stage. But then also I had like a lot of insecurities and like really struggled with like my identity, because I was like, man, I'm Mexican. But when I'm in Mexico, I don't feel like I'm Mexican enough because I don't speak the language. Also, it was really hard because for a while, I didn't really have friends my age. Like, it wasn't until I started getting really involved at church there that I started, I guess, getting more confident in just embracing and accepting certain qualities about myself. Like I realized like, oh, I'm sensitive, I'm emotional, I'm creative. Eventually I was able to make friends and I learned Spanish. I began reading and writing and being able to speak it. To this day though, I just get really insecure when I speak Spanish. It requires work. It requires work to learn a second language. So for any of you that maybe you have a similar story to my own, or maybe you're trying to learn a second language, it's incredible. It takes work, but it is so worth it. So that's just my little spiel on learning the language. Also, this is my favorite mascara of all time. I have tried many different kinds and I always go back to this one because it never like gets dark over here. Like, also my lashes are able to get like really, really long. Oh, I forgot to curl them. Normally I curl them before, but you could also do them after. I gotta quiet because I gotta do my lips. I love using lip gloss that is matte, which basically means it's not shiny. I don't like lip glosses that make your lips look like really glossy, which is the irony of it. Like I don't really like lipstick because it's too dry for my dry lips, but I use this. It's called Wet n Wild Liquid Matte Lip Gloss. Again, all drugstore products. You can find them at Target or Walmart. College was like my favorite time, which is actually where I met Austin. We met junior year. We were actually just friends for a few years. Maybe I'll have him on a video, and he doesn't really like doing videos though. So he always gets like super shy and quiet, and I'm like, just talk. And he's like, So, okay, last step and the most important step in my opinion are the brows. Let's hope that I don't mess it up like that last time. Anyways, I use e.l.f. eyeshadow and then just like a simple angled brush. I don't know if this is ever gonna focus. No, it's out of focus. Okay, well, anyway, can you see? Okay, anyways, so yeah, maybe I'll do a video where we share about how we met and all that good stuff, our love story. Oh, don't forget to, I don't know how other makeup gurus, YouTubers, influencers do it, but I've seen girls where they do their brows first and then they put the foundation like around it and don't mess it up. I don't know how that works, but typically because I do my foundation first, I get foundation on my eyebrows. So before doing my eyebrows, I make sure to like get a washcloth or a tissue and just wipe off the powder that was on my eyebrows. So we met in college. College was a lot of fun. It was a really small college. I loved getting to do a lot of different things. Just like different kinds of leadership roles. Like I was a resident assistant, which it's called an RA. I got to do like event planning, student activities. I loved all that stuff. Anything that involved just like really getting connected and getting to be creative, I loved it. So I really enjoyed college. I did my bachelor's in biblical studies and then stayed there and did the online master's program. So I got my master's in organizational leadership. And then now I get to do social media and work with college students for work, which is super fun. So it's crazy how, like I said earlier, you think when you start high school, you're like, I have the next 10 years planned. And you're like, oh, no, like, but I'm so thankful. It's cool to see how certain dreams have changed, certain passions and hobbies have changed. But ultimately, I truly believe that where I am today, even through all the hard circumstances that I have gone through and that my family has gone through, knowing that God does have a purpose and a plan for it. And ultimately, I think it's really beautiful how even through the really hard, the hardship, the adversity, the trials, the really hard times, how it really made me realize I need to depend on God and I need him and he's my source of joy and peace and contentment. Anyways, I'm about to start preaching, but that's all I have to say. So here we go with the brows. This is the last step. So that's a little bit about me. I'd love to hear or read in the comment sections, like, what are your favorite hobbies, you know? Do you like music too? Do you like making YouTube videos as well? If you do, I'll check them out. I also love reading. Did I mention I'm an introvert? A lot of people are always shocked when I say that. But I do love my alone time. But I'm not outspoken, but I'm also not quiet, I guess. So if any of you like personality assessments, also I'm an INFJ-T. I don't like that T at the end, but so I basically draw the end of my eyebrow and fill it in. So that's the Myers-Briggs. But then for Enneagram, I might be a 3 with a wing 4 or 4 with a wing 3. Still trying to figure it out, you know what I mean? Oh, Austin's home. I'm recording a video, by the way.
On you right now.
I know, because I'm showing them how to do my brows.
Kind of scary looking.
Oh my gosh. Sit down, boy. Do you want to say hello to the camera?
What?
Do you want to say hello to the camera?
Do you want me to say hello to the camera?
Just come over here. Show off the haircut. Show off the beautiful French Canadian looks. Oh, la voix, if you were wondering, is French for the way. So technically it's pronounced le voix. That's all I know about French. And then watching the show on Netflix. Waiting for season 2 of Emily in Paris. I can't wait. Okay, last step. Fill them in. Guys, this video ended up being way too long. I'm so sorry. If you even watched half of it, I'm impressed. If you got to the end, leave a comment so I know. Maybe I'll do a giveaway. Like, if you got to the end of the video, you get a prize. So that is my everyday makeup look. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment below if you have other videos that you'd like to see, different ideas. I'm open to suggestions. That's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Cheers. I hope you're enjoying your morning coffee like I am.